Afripeans. We got a lot to give, no matter what your story is. We are strong, but we are stronger. Welcome to Afripeans and the Martin and Paz Show, making sense out of the nonsense.
All about the truth, nothing but the truth.
Exactly.
So help us.
Yeah, exactly. It's because there's a lot of things that don't make any sense to so many people, including ourselves. So here we talk about it and try to find a way how we can bring people, countries, men, women, children, friends together.
Together, yeah.
Exactly.
To use a word that's been around for some time. We're all one. Today we have a guest from Rwanda.
From Rwanda, East
Rwanda.
Africa.
We have Chantal.
Yeah.
How should I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Kanyabutembo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You're very welcome to Afripeans. I have a first question to you. Could you just tell me shortly about this organization you're working with?
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of GECO, Global Epilepsy Connection Rwanda, and I'm a co-founder of this organization. So we started in 2010, and we are based in Western Province of Rwanda, Rubavu, Gisenyi City, and we do our best to raise awareness about epilepsy and also to fight for the well-being of those patients on matter of primary care, prevention of the disease in maternity, infant, and also spray awareness advocacy through school, residential area. And we need also to connect this organization to many affiliation internationally. And I'm a member also of the Epilepsy Alliance Africa, which we funded together with a network of professional doctors from Africa.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Me myself, I had a personal experience of this epilepsy, and I wondered, have you detected any vital causes? Because there are different causes for this, but what I've been told when I was little that you have a blow to your head. When I was young, I got a stone in my forehead. Do you have any ideas of what you found out in your research?
Yeah.
Of the causes?
Yeah, generally from our research, like in Africa, from the tropical disease like amoebias, which come from dirty food, stuff like that, and the tenias. So that are the things which always bring those diseases to African. And we have also a problem, example for malaria untreated, typhoid, those microbacteria which affect and virus also, because those things is the one which affect the brain, because those bacteria, they can travel and reach the brain, and by reaching the brain they form a sort of cyst, and for that it starts now to affect the brain cells, so the neuron of the patient may not connect, and that brings the trigger, the electricity in the brain, and you see someone have a clonic seizures. In regard of Europe, for example, there is some bacteria like E. coli which can affect people. There is a sepsis disorder, example, someone who are catching sepsis, an infection in the blood, and then is untreated, then it gets it. Yeah, sometimes alcoholism can bring it, and other like the fatigue, the chronic fatigue. You know yourself how Europe people are working is like a machinery.
Yeah.
And that also may bring those side effects. And also the pollution of the environment, we never know.
Another thing, I believe this human organism we live in is a self-healing organism. But have you thought of this, what they're doing now, that they're testing people with a swab in the nose? When it's untouched, it's blocking infections to reach the brain. And when you push that, it opens up to bacteria and all kinds of stuff to hit the brain. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I heard about it, but me, I cannot take that test. I always reject it. This part is recommended by the OMS. I prefer the mouth test.
Yeah.
In case you have a COVID, why they cannot test you like someone with TB? They tell you cough, and then they detect the virus, or they make a swab in your throat. They
Yeah.
may see the virus.
Yeah.
But the
Because
way they push far is the way to increase the risk of people to get some infection disease in the brain. And we know that even with COVID, many people who recover for long term to hospital, they have a stroke.
yeah.
And that stroke also have a side effect on the brain, and they have a seizures. And
Okay.
Of
yeah,
course. I make a joke of it, but I'm really serious. I'm telling the truth. I'm meaning virus, you can't catch a virus. It's not contagious, only TV screens. This is the most contagious things in the world. So through media and through TV, you're sending beta waves that, oh, you have this virus. It's fear-mongering. But anyway, I tell it as a joke, but it's not joke. It's the, it's nothing but the truth. So help us.
No, but Chantal, can you please explain to us what is the most vital thing needed for your foundation?
the vital need is the lack of fund, because without resource, we cannot do many programs which are very good for the healthcare program. Example, when we do not have many incubators, so many children who are born with SPAS syndrome, they are not recovered. When we do not have a telehealth medicine to some rural hospital to train doctors about some medication, the right prescription to give in to a newborn baby with a spasm syndrome.
Okay.
Sometimes we get limited. Example, if you see the cortisone, they can inject that baby. It's not on the list of the universal prescription of the national program. That person need to buy it privately. And you see the mom of that baby do not even have $5 in account. And the spasm, when that baby keeps shaking, after 1 year, the baby become completely physical paralyzed because he has already damaged
That's terrible.
the spin code. His spin code is damaged. So for that also, I have that Alliance of Africa with professionals, doctors now who are helping me online for children, for families of children, even adults who have a resistance on the drug. Sometimes we assess them and we know the drug they may need, and then we recommend the hospital to prescribe those drugs. And if we find a donor who can help us, we may buy them for them, and they may be free of the seizures after 5 years. Yeah, if they're on the right prescription.
How do we change this problem?
The thing Afripeans can do on behalf of us, even your broadcast, is to attract attention for many stakeholders. They need to know the truth going. The fund they are giving to many institutions or organizations, we are not receiving even 5% of that money. So majority of them end on bureaucracy, and also the visibility of those small organizations are not shown to the high profile people.
Okay.
So they show just this we did. But if you see exactly, in case I could not implement the strategy policy of developing those macro sector industry for those patients, even now I think they may switch off a program to do other things. But the way now they fund them, even those patients, they have now shoes to wear. They pay their own tax. Now the voice can reach to even to high politicians like the social affairs, and the social affairs can say, oh, this big, well done. Okay, let's carry with this example. Yeah.
So is there any way we can mobilize society to try to put together the fundings that your foundation needs?
Yeah, everyone, like if you see like 60% of the mental health, like in Rwanda, we have 600,000 patients. We came out of the war of the genocide. It's true that I belong to the part of the Tutsi which has been killed. My grandfathers, my cousin, everyone. But you see, in my family, I have high number of people suffering for post-trauma disorder, epilepsy, due to the due to the damage they did, because they slapped them, and some of them survive. But if you see the truth, it happened, but how are we manage it? Example, some family, they don't have money to manage those situations, those problems. They are living on low poverty. And I think we cannot, if one person like me who stand up here in Europe, how can I help multiple family? I don't have grants to help them. I call upon you to resource me to remove that problem in my agenda. So the problem we have in Rwanda, those patients are rejected. They are not accommodated in many activities like development activities, because even you see the UNCPRD law, which is a United Nations Convention for people with right of people with disabilities. In Rwanda, they treat epilepsy like a disease, but it's not on the platform of a disability. Example.
Yeah, when we're talking about diseases, I've been told epilepsy. It's not a disease; it's a condition, or is it? It's an instant thing happen to you, but then it's gone. I mean, you have other diseases when you have continuously pain or something, but this is happening in the now moment, and then you maybe have some after, but then it's gone, and then you're okay.
Yeah. So look, the consequence of someone who feel deaf every day. You fell down.
Yeah.
You don't know that you'll wake up. So the transition of that, you develop an anxiety disorders.
Yeah.
An anxiety disorder can even control your life sometime, but some other people knows how to manage that anxiety. But the problem we face, example, in Africa, when that problem starts to develop on that patient, anxiety disorder, stuff like that, the mood change from the side effect of the drugs. Many people reject them and they say they are possessed by demon.
Yeah,
by
I understand.
evil.
And that's one of the important things you have to change the attitude of this condition.
Yeah, even the name given to them, like they call Igichuri. Igichuri is like someone walking abnormally. The head is down. They don't treat them as normal in our society. And you cannot be employed, even married, because they know that you'll pass that demon to another person.
Yeah,
okay. It's a family caste.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not laughing in a sense. Instead of crying, I thought I'd make some noise, and laughter was the first thing that came to my mind.
But it's so much lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
If you spread the knowledge, what this really is happening in a person's body or in a person's brain, then you can, so say, normalize it or get rid of this connection with demons. Or here in Europe, it's not about demons, but you have people who are rejected for this reason because people doesn't understand, because it's so definite. People getting shaken.
Yeah, because it is even for the Bible. Because in the Bible, there's someone suffering for seizures.
Yeah.
And when Jesus healed the person and said demon out, they go to the sea. Example. Yeah. So people link it with a history also.
Okay.
Yeah, like the way you emphasize, we need to change the mindset. The mindset of a nation. We need to have a resource on how to advocate on platform of media and also change the legislation in our country. Because if you see the UNCPRD law, which is for people the Convention for People Rights with Disabilities, that includes autism and epilepsy. But many countries in Africa, they are not even considered to take epilepsy as part of disabilities. When they do the event of disabled people, they don't include epilepsy. And sometimes people with hallucination, schizophrenia can be invited, but epilepsy may not be invited. And they know the consequence of those drugs on the side effects of those patients. Some patients may lose memory. They can remember things, but they are not effective. So for them, they need at least a vocal training to give to them example.
Okay.
If they are going to do some work, you don't give them intense work. You give a moderate work according to his stage of illness.
So in your organization, do you have some sort of like a work plan that you follow based on the development of the people you're trying to help, let's say in different regions or villages?
I set up that work plan.
Okay.
And from the group cooperative of each hospital, we do what? We encourage them to go to the agriculture sectors because majority do not have a skill to use computer, stuff like that. But actually, if I get a donor who may give me example, a tailoring machine, they may give me computer, I may be teaching them and give them a training, and they may be also part of the assessment of other patients. Because now, my youth now, majority of them, they are now reaching university.
Okay.
Like you saw in the last article I wrote with EBE, youth now from Kinyinya, Gisenyi, etc. Now they are going to university. So I need some time to sponsor them to pay for their own university. Because of the intellectual deficits, some of them may not have 70 A mark. They may pass with B.
Okay.
They may pass with C. But it needs for me to get a grant to pay for their own university. Example like that.
Okay, now my other question to you about those universities, are we talking about Rwanda?
Yeah, what I try to do also is to have also a school and a hospital to build it. And then that is my first plan, which I'm wishing to reach, is to show that I can employ those people. So those who run those hospital and primary school will be people who are suffering for seizure. So the government can see the performance of them compared to normal people. So that's the way to change mindset of nation.
Yeah.
To show exactly that they may work, they may fulfill the admin job, they may fulfill this. They can represent other people, example, on platform of branding, communication.
If you start up a school, who's going to be heading it?
The thing for school, I've already done the project. There is a primary school and secondary school. There is even a hospital. There is a yard for sports, example. And there is also because teachers will be there, they need also to be accommodated there, but to pay in the local area. So we build the housing for teachers, few house.
And the beautiful thing about being a human is we can actually create our own reality. And as we've been talking about this bridging through music, I mean, music have the possibility to create feelings, and through feelings you can use it to create and change the opinions and the attitude of people towards so many things in society. And that's why music is such a beautiful gift, and we're going to use it. Some 20 years ago, I met a man who was working with music medicine. He was recording, he would say, if everything in this world is energy, and energy is built of frequency, and everything in this world have a frequency. And he recorded, for instance, he recorded the frequency of C vitamin. So you can listen to C vitamin. Instead of eating a lemon or some fruits, you listen to C vitamin. And I'm not blind to the idea that you can create a frequency to heal some conditions, for instance, of this seizure or other things as well. So I think this is a beautiful idea.
Can you imagine if you have some sort of a course whereby you use music to find the right frequencies that actually can help people with epilepsy? Maybe there's a sound that you can play a patient to regain their consciousness.
Yeah, and also to have this before it happens, you get a hunch or so you can because I remember I got this something's happened, and then I got this fright, and then nothing happened. So,
Yeah, because if they heard the sound, because all the body is not dead completely.
Yeah.
Maybe one organ is still alive, like they sense to hear, but they can feel that someone is close to me, may look after me. Example. Yeah.
And maybe you don't even need somebody because you as an individual, you know yourself better than anybody. For example, the symptoms that Pa just mentioned, maybe there's a song you try to listen to that sound that smooths your brain so it does not create, these electrical shocks, in your brain that actually causes this condition. But you both have had this condition. The world is going to want to hear from you more than them hearing from a politician. They give this money that you are supposed to talk to.
Yeah, because if he is involved as a board member and we work together, it will bring a good attention, because us as a patient, we may not hide or feeling like the way other people portray it. Example, in Africa, I found a case of many women who are consuming sodium valproate, the Depakin, and they are still pregnant. And when they give birth to children with multiple disability, Down syndrome, autism, with cerebrosis, stuff like that. But despite the OMS has already tell people not to take those drugs, women who are planning pregnancy, example, to stop it before even 5 months, before having a baby. But in Africa, you see, they are still doing it because people who want to give those, they see the stock of the drug, they say, we're going to order other drugs like lamotrigine. So let's sacrifice these people. So they sacrifice them again.
Terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing. That is like a human trafficking. You are a doctor, you know exactly the truth, but you are still doing that.
But you're still doing it because of money. And as long as these people are not your family members, you really don't care. You're just trying to.
You don't care. You just want your not your budget to be deteriorated, or so you want people to remove that stock.
This is how we help change what is going on down there. I'm not saying we are going to be able to change everything in 10, 5, 20 years, but at least this could be a beginning of something, actually.
And my vision is about, in case that school and that hospital run well, we may duplicate that program to other regions of Africa. We may put even the same school to Uganda, to Tanzania. I prefer that, not to be just Rwanda, because the density of people who are suffering for seizures in Africa. Each country has a 600,000. Maybe we are 5 million or 10 million. But the situation, there is other country with no even visibility of that disease. They don't treat it. So if you go to hospital, they say, we can't do anything, go home.
I'm so glad we spoke today, even if it was a freestyle.
It's a good freestyle.
And thank you for your good heart.
Thank you for talking to you, Chantal. I hope you have a good day, the rest of the day. Yeah.
Afripeans.